Alright, so what we're going to do now is set up our KGK to actually print on the side of a container. You're not always going to be using it to print on the base, so we can go base, on the side, or on the top, or on an angle, whatever we want, using this print head stand. So I had the transfer belt trolley set up and I took off this section. I've actually just put this back on here. I have my 5mm Allen key back with me. Still going to use the same bracket and stand, so just going to pop this in. I'm just going to squash this down and I'll just tighten this off. It doesn't need to be crazy tight, just as long as it's not going to move. So first things first, we have this slit here. This is where our ink is going to print out. This always needs to be upright so that our container is moving across. If I try to have my container moving past this way, I'll end up with just a straight vertical line like that because that's not how the machine's designed. Second pro tip, always ensure that your photoelectric sensor is before the print head. If I try and have a container moving by this direction, then the photoelectric sensor won't pick it up until the bottle has already moved past. It's a pretty big container, so we'd probably get away with it in this instance, but if you're smaller containers, you can imagine that it's going to be too difficult. So always ensure bottle is moving past photoelectric sensor, then print head. Ensure that slit is always upright. Alright, so the print head stand itself is a fairly basic thing, but there's some little tips. What it allows us to do is I can actually take this, there's an up and down vertical movement, so if I loosen this, and the way to think of it is the up movement and the outwards movement here is our macro or really big changes. So I can move the whole print head up, the whole print head down. In this instance, I'm just going to be somewhere around the middle of my container, so I don't really care. So I'm just going to come in here, and then I'm just going to lock this off here. I want to be firm, but not too tight. Now, let's say I want to bring the entire print head a little bit close to the conveyor. Again, I'll loosen this one off here. It gives me the movement to go side to side if need be, in or out if need be. In this instance, if I don't want to go all the way to the end, because then my print head stand might be getting a little bit front heavy. So I'm actually going to just move the entire print head stand, but this is just to give you a demonstration of what you can do. So just going to gently tighten that up here. Bring my entire print head stand a little bit closer. I know my bottles are going to be brushing up against the guide rail, so I want to be virtually in line here. Then got another movement here. This will allow me to again swing it in and out. And then finally, I've got this little post that my print head is directly attached to. This is my up and down movement. So in this instance here, if I bring my container over here, I'll actually just bring my print head stand over here just for a quick video. And I'll take a look now. Now, what are the things I want to look out for? I want to ensure that the gap between the print head and the surface I'm printing on is 20 to 30 millimeters. I want to ensure that my photoelectric sensor is actually triggering when my container comes past. I want to make sure that my print head is parallel with the ground, so it's actually going to be printing on a flat direction. I want to ensure that this slit is vertical, not slightly on an angle here. Once I have all those things checked off, and right now I can see that my print head looks a little bit up, so I can loosen this off or just gently move this forward until I'm fairly confident. Right now, looking at this, I'm probably much closer than my 20 to 30 millimeters. So I'll just bring this back a little bit. But again, there's so many different options with this stand, so I can just loosen this. I can actually just physically bring the whole print head stand back a little bit and then just lock this back off. I want to make sure that my leveling jacks and leveling feet, the same as our other machinery. I want this to be level and I don't want this to be wobbling around. The moment that someone comes and kicks this, it's kind of game over, we need to reset up again. I've already got a message going in this machine, so now I'm just going to hit run. And then the only thing I'll need to play with is going to be my delay timer to ensure that once this container comes past my photoelectric sensor, that I get the right timing to have the right positioning on my container. If I trigger this and then my message is at the very, very front of the container, and I want to be further towards the back, then I'm going to increase that delay. If it's too far towards the back, then then I want it to be at the front, then I'll decrease the delay. If it's nowhere on the container, then in all likelihood, I'm either printing before the bottle actually manages to close this gap and get in front of the printhead, or I'm printing after the bottle's moved past. So just look into it and see where it's at. Common sense and a bit of trial and error will go you most of the way. All right, let's turn this on and have a look.